Hi, I'm Devonta Hill with Total Medulla, and actually today we're going to be at a protest. I wanted to get a good understanding of the different sides of this protest. I really want to paint a really good picture of the protest and really see if the messages are being conveyed effectively. During the Super Bowl week, we experienced a lot of folks taking to the streets to protest. One of the protests that I physically went to was the one next to the Galleria area a couple of days before the Super Bowl. The main organizers had on bright jackets, just in case the police need to identify somebody in case of an emergency.
I got these so far. So we have no borders, no nations, no deportations. Love, not hate, makes America great. No ban, no wall. Move Trump, get out the way. Get out the way, Trump, get out the way. Get out the way.
Every media outlet was in attendance. You had Fox 26, Telemundo, Newsfix, ABC 13, NBC 2, we even saw KHOU. We also had some folks from the U of H student newspaper, the Houston Chronicle, and of course, independent folks like me. Saeed, who was one of the main organizers of this particular protest, shared a lot of his thoughts.
It's just basically reaching out to, you have your core, we had our core group of organizers. We had our audience that's done different charity events, stuff like that with different minorities. And we reached out to different minority groups such as FILE Houston, Black Lives Matters Houston, the Houston Janitors Union, just trying to get the people most affected by the policies being put in place, whether it's SB 4, whether it's the executive orders that have been signed to ban people from the 7 Muslim majority countries, just minorities being affected in different ways. And we're just trying to unite for one cause. I'm actually a Palestinian Muslim. My dad actually came here on a student visa from Bethlehem. So this is something that hits really close to home for me. Had these policies been in place, my dad couldn't have come here, or wouldn't have been able to come here. So this is something that's not just close to me, but close to the people I work with, because I work with a lot of immigrants.
A lot of people came out for different reasons. Like Saeed, some felt personally connected to the issue, but others were like Eric.
It ain't just Trump, it's the whole corrupt system. I mean, the system's not broken, it's built this way. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. And it's time we do something. I mean, we can keep peacefully protesting. That's cool and all. I've been doing that for 2 years, but I mean, how do you make peace with Satan? I mean, seriously, how do you make peace with Satan? The issue at hand right now is this no ban, no wall. They weren't letting immigrants in. I was at the last protest at the Bush Intercontinental, got a little wild, and it's just getting too much. It's just getting too much. And people think that I'm out here saying fuck Trump, screw Trump, everything. But don't get me wrong, I'd be the same. I'd be screaming just as loud, if not louder, if Hillary was president, you know? I'm just saying, yeah, I'm just saying, he knows.
And to Eric's point, there were a lot of people in support. He had folks honking on the streets, but actually in support, people were like, yeah, and they're like waving their hands. Other people were kind of looking around like, I don't know what's going on. It was really interesting to see.
It's great to see all these different groups and different people come together and fight for similar causes, you know, and Houston's the most diverse city in the country. So to see everybody stand together against something is a beautiful thing. It really is. It's really mixed. I think a lot of people are just fascinated by groups getting together and fighting something. And at the same time, there are some people who are very pro-Trump who have showed it as they pass by. And then there are the supporters as well. So, you know, it's interesting.
Well, what I hope is that people see these things and begin to be part of the civic duty, which is make sure you register to vote, make sure you exercise your right to vote, and make sure you participate in the civil discourse. Call your congressman, call your senator, write them letters, let people know where you stand on any issues. Because the masses, when they speak up, the politicians listen. And I think in that sense, these kind of things can be helpful.
Now this is a part of the video where I have to keep things 100. And the first thing I would like to say is that this is not a Muslim band. It's an immigration and travel band. This is why I say this.
I believe that everyone should have rights and no banning, no wall. I mean, that's just the majority one. It's hard to explain, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay, let me check out. What do we want? What do we want?
We're looking for equal rights for every single American. So we want refugees to come to America. You know? I feel like it's targeting all Muslims, and it's not just Iranians or people, it's just Muslims.
For one, let's get one thing straight. The Muslim community is a very huge community. It's a very fragmented community. I mean, we can just talk about Houston alone. There's a bunch of Hispanic Muslims, African Muslims, American Black Muslims, white Muslims, Asian Muslims. There's a lot of different folks that call themselves Muslim. And if any of you guys kept up with the traditional media sources, you would have heard stories about Christians. It's affecting everybody coming from those regions, not just Muslims. So I tried to interview a bunch of folks that weren't a part of the protest, and a lot of them were really shy. But I had one guy that I was able to get, and he said some really good points that I wanted to mention.
Well, I'm interested in what's going on across the street. I'm on my way to film. I'm right here filming like everybody is. Super Bowl 51, Houston, Texas. You know what I'm saying? And these people over here caught my attention. I'm putting together a DVD, Welcome to Houston. And a lot of people have said that the Galleria is one of the places to be when they visit. So I felt that it was important to stop and see what's going on. And from the looks of things, it's a lot of brown lives protesting against Trump and against racism and against anything that that degrades brown lives. And I'm not saying brown like my brown, because there's not very many black people over there. So I hear them saying stuff about the wall. So I think they're talking about making a wall in Mexico and something about immigration. So that's my take on what's going on. I don't know what's going on, but I'm proud to see it, because people have to stand up for themselves, because we're not in a situation where what's right is what goes. So you have to stand up for yourself. And I don't know not one person over there, but I support what they're doing.
You think things like this is effective?
I was actually thinking about that as I walked across. I'm like, most people don't even know what they're talking about. Second of all, I think it would make more sense for them to stand in front of like City Hall or somewhere where people make laws. So it's effective as far as the people that's involved with it, because they have unity. They're united. But outside of that, I don't know how effective it is. So that's that.
But I don't know, let me know what you guys think. And like I said, my initial purpose of doing this particular video was to talk about messaging and how messages are being conveyed. Well, that's enough Devontae for one day. As always, I'll see you guys next time.